Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. So basically, Temporal Forces has been officially revealed for March, which is fantastic. So we've got a bunch of new pack art to take a look at, as well as the Elite Trainer boxes. All very nice to see, and the promos. Not going to go over this, I'll leave a link to the site in the description if you want to go over all of these. But what I did want to highlight was some pretty important information. So basically, the set will feature over 160 cards. There will be 6 A-Spec trainers and 1 A-Spec special energy, which is really interesting because we've seen 4 A-Specs total, including the A-Spec energy. So we've still got a few left to be revealed, which is interesting. I'm assuming they're going to save these for like the main set reveals of Cyber Judge and Wild Force. We might get like one more revealed, I guess, and then one in each of those sets. So yeah, super excited to see how those pan out. Also going to be 22 illustration rares and 10 special illustration rares, which is very exciting as well. Not to mention, I should have said this earlier, 13 Pokemon EX and 2 Tera Pokemon EX, which we already actually have confirmation as to what these are. So yeah, pretty cool to see. And those Tera Pokemon are going to be, in fact, wugtrio, and I can never pronounce this Pokemon's name, but it's like Farid Giraffe or something. It's a bit of an unknown Pokemon that I don't really pay much attention to, but the fact that wugtrio is getting one, I'm very excited about. Hopefully it's got some synergy with the mill deck, but, you know, either way, should be very cool. But if you didn't see earlier as well, there was another A-Spec revealed called Hero's Cape. This will just increase the HP of a Pokemon by plus 100, which honestly isn't terrible in certain kind of like big tanky like control decks, really. So think about, Venusaur, for example, with this thing on, would have 440 HP or something daft and healing 60 a turn. So I do think there is some uses for this. It's definitely not as good as Prime Catcher, unfortunately, which is, I think, the biggest problem with all the A-Specs revealed so far. But, hopefully we get some more interesting A-Specs and, people don't just play exclusively Prime Catcher, because I do think this tool card is cool, even if, Lost Vacuum still exists and that's going to be a pain. But yeah, it's interesting. Also, based on the number of cards and Pokemon EX in the set description, it does not appear our set will feature cards from Crimson Haze, which, yeah, I kind of predicted that either way, but, Crimson Haze not going to be in it, so we're not going to see something like Blood Moon or Salona, even though that would be super cool. So that's not going to be in it. And the set hasn't been announced even for Japan yet, but we know it will feature Pokemon from the Teal Mask. So I think Crimson Haze releases like 1 week before this set or something. So we will already see like a good chunk of Scarlet and Violet. I want to say 6 is the set after this one. So whatever that happens to be, I know that's like very, very far into the future. But whatever that set has to offer, a good chunk of that will actually be revealed just before this one comes out. So yeah, that's kind of worth bearing in mind. Also, in the past, we would normally get a new set in February, but the release of January's special Paldean Fates, the upcoming set with like 10 new relevant cards in it, means Scarlet and Violet 5 has been pushed back to March. So that sucks, I guess, but we should be able to be back on schedule with May's Scarlet and Violet 6 set. So we have to wait until March before we see any of these A-Specs. But still, they look very cool. And as indicated above, Temporal Forces were based on Japan's Wild Judge and Wild Force and Cyber Judge, which are dual sets releasing on January 26 over in Japan, and they'll be accompanied by 2 starter, deck, and build sets featuring the new Koraidon, which is Ancient, and Miraidon, which is Future, which have already been revealed and talked about loads online. So hopefully those cards will be in the main set. There was also some other reveals, which I guess we can kind of take a look at. There was like a Rabaska, which can prevent all damage and effects. I think because it's stage 1, it's probably going to be good in something like GLC. Maybe not standard, because, it's a bit awkward to set up a stage 1. But yeah, either way, it could be pretty cool. Also got Mist Energy, which kind of does the exact same thing, but just as a colorless energy, which is pretty funny in my opinion. But yeah, interesting. You still have to find room in your deck, and you still have to find it at the right time, but used in the correct situations, this could prevent Roaring Moon from one-hit something. So, think about a Charizard deck that can already ramp up the fire energy that it needs. So then you just slap a Mist Energy on there potentially, and then you can't be one-hit by a Roaring Moon deck. So, yeah, that's very, very scary. Kind of a bit of another buff to Charizard, I guess. But, we didn't as if we needed any more of them. But either way, a pretty cool energy, and I'm excited to, try this out and see how good it is against Roaring Moon. Next up, though, is we actually have a Didon Sparse and a Sableye. Thus, Didon Sparse says once in your turn you can just draw 3 cards and shuffle Didon Sparse back into your deck, which is pretty cool, to be honest. Like, I do think that's actually a pretty nice effect to have. It's nothing crazy, of course, but it's not the worst, because a lot of these like evolve into the stage 1 draw 3 effects are terrible because you have to reset them somehow with either like a collapsed stadium or Professor Turo. But this is basically just saying it's going to do that for you. It's going to reset itself by shuffling itself back into the deck. You still have to like set up Didon Sparses on the bench really to chain these, but still, I think this could be a nice little draw engine to try out. So yeah, could be interesting. You also have the Sabey, which just allows you to move any number of damage counters from your opponent's bench to their active, which is super interesting. Maybe a kind of spread deck, but you know, like the Mimikyu is, I still think, a bit better than this with Words to Gift, but either way, it could be a fun spread option, especially for a double colorless. So yeah, those are the new set reveals for Temporal Forces. Hero's Cape is kind of like the biggest thing, I guess, to be announced, and wugtrio EX is kind of cool, but yeah, it's been our power. Let me know what you think down below, of course, and yeah, thank you for watching.